Hi, I'm Kevin Klein, City Councillor for Charleswood, Tuxedo, Westwood. Let's take a few minutes and review what happened this week inside Winnipeg City Hall. We're going to talk about items that really didn't get any media attention. Now, these are items that I think you will find very important and items that we should be continuing to put pressure on to get answers for, because these are fundamental issues that we need to address within Winnipeg City Hall. So let's just review some of the things that we're working on that no media is really paying a lot of attention to right now. The expense account for the mayor at the City of Winnipeg is $1.8 million a year. That is the second highest expense account in Canada. Not per capita, not within a certain population. It is the second highest in Canada. Higher than Montreal, higher than Vancouver, higher than Edmonton. You get my point. I think we saw one story about it in the media. There was a motion that tried to get passed at governance, but it was blocked by members of the inner circle. These are the issues that I think we need to talk about more and that you need to know about that are happening within Winnipeg City Hall. There was a lot of talk at Winnipeg City Hall about the finances. We had a memo that came out, or a press release, sorry, that said the finances for 2020 were great. We had a $2.5 million surplus. We also had a surplus of $3.4 or $3.9 million in transit. Nobody's asking questions about that. There are a lot of questions to be asked about that. A lot of questions. I have always said I have an issue with the detail that's coming from finance. And I would like to know how we couldn't help any business that we were constantly coming out saying that we needed more money from other levels of government, yet we made a surplus. Where did that money go? How is that money being used? Did some of that money get put over into the next year? Was it part of a shell game? These are questions that we will be asking, and we're going to try to get to the bottom of. These are important issues that we need to know about. We've talked about the issue of bus shelters. Now, I'm very proud that I got to put together some funding, a grant for the Bear Clan Patrol, and got a little bit of help from my colleague, Councillor Mays. We gave them some funding so that they could help those seeking refuge in bus shelters. Now, this isn't to take them coffee and blankets and to stay there. They went to talk to them and offer them a ride to a place where they could spend the night. They could get a shower, they could have something to eat, they could take care of each other. That's what this was. One media covered it, and it's not about that, but this is how we get issues resolved, by working together with other groups. We don't simply pass the buck to the province or blame the province or try our best during a meeting with the public to have somebody else blame the province, to say it's their fault that they're not doing, the province isn't doing enough. Take a look.
Given Manitoba Housing is in fact a provincial agency, and of course there's relevant ministers, I'm just curious if you've requested and been afforded an opportunity to make similar presentations in front of the Premier of Manitoba.
No, I haven't, and I would love to, but this research was actually really focused on what municipalities were doing, so that's why I'm here.
How would you grade the province's outcomes with respect to poverty and housing?
Frankly, I'm not an expert in looking at the province. I've looked at the city in relation to other cities across Canada.
I'm not hearing that you've reached out and have had an opportunity to speak with the Premier or the relevant ministers, and I would encourage you to do so, as well as your efforts here at City Hall to lobby us to do our part. You know, it would be, of course, that's not a level of government that affords you the opportunity to present via live stream in front of elected officials, and do really hope that you are afforded the opportunity and you even make the request to meet with provincial officials.
We are not the official opposition of the province. That's not our job. Our job is to work at the City of Winnipeg and to have services that you can depend on, services that are important to you. We're not the official opposition, and we need to stop trying to be. We've had the issue of the flashing amber lights. Haven't seen them yet. We're working on it. The ambulance issue. You may recall several months ago I had the opportunity to question the fire chief at a public meeting and found out that ambulances or residents are waiting sometimes over an hour for ambulances. Well, it's because we don't have enough ambulances. Now that became the province's fault. But have we addressed it? Have we done anything? Nothing. Is anybody holding their feet to the fire? Is anybody making sure on a daily basis that it's done? Nobody. We have to keep asking these questions. We have to stay on top of this because that's the plan. That's the hope. The strategy is that it will get out of the news cycle and people will move on to something else. And they don't have to worry about that. And hopefully it won't come up at the next election. It'll be forgotten. The other issue we've been working on is the gyms, pools, arenas. Been almost a week or over a week now and everybody else's gym is open. We're a service provider. We've had months to put together plans on how to reopen. At any different, at 25%, at 50%, at 10%. We should have had all these strategies on paper months ago. We should have been prepared. We have to change our thinking at City Hall. We're not just a tax collector. We are a service provider. Public service. That's what we're here for. And we need to do a better job at that.